Mr. Glenn Gano.
Hello, my name is Glenn Gano. I live in Highland Village, and I share custody of my daughter who attends Durham. It's very good that there are so many caring parents here to voice their concerns, and I completely understand the concern over splitting a class and potentially separating kids from their friends. Hopefully you'll be able to work out a way to keep those going into 10th from being separated, but not at the cost of the 9-10 centers. Friendships evolve and change. The friendships that they have today, they probably aren't going to have in 10 years, and possibly even 4 years, regardless of whether they go to the same campus or not. The education you provide, though, is a foundation and will determine their future. In past school board meetings, several of the parents have talked about community as a reason not to have two separate but equal 9-10 campuses. However, I'm certain these kids will still have pride in LHS, even if they go to the LHS main campus for only 2 years. Plano has had this system for many years and it works. It's vital to look at the bigger picture and make decisions to provide all kids, not just the ones represented here, the best education possible so they can compete not just in the Lewisville community, but in the global community. This does not just benefit their future, it benefits our future and our nation's future. I've heard high praise for both Principal Plunkett and Principal Flores for all they do to educate our kids. So how can we deny the benefits our kids would reap in having them as principals for 2 years instead of 1? If they believe in the 9-10 campus system, I trust that this will better prepare my daughter for the future. I ask the school board to keep our kids' education and academic pursuits as the primary focus of all the decisions you make. To quote the philosopher Plato, the direction in which education starts a man will determine his future in life. He wrote this over 2,000 years ago, and it is as pertinent today as it was then. Please listen to the educators and support the 9-10 campus system.
Thank you, sir. The next card I have is Michelle Nemechek. I think I said that right. N-E-M-E-C-E-K.
I'm short, so can you, okay, you can hear me. So, hello board and Dr. Waddell, welcome to this craziness, huh? Oh, so she said, I'm Michelle Nemechek. I'm a parent of 3 Lewisville farmers. I have 2 that already graduated through Lewisville and 1 future. He's entering the 9th grade this fall. And 3 years ago, when I voted a yes on the bond that granted a 3rd Lewisville High School, I trusted the school board to do what was best for all of our Lewisville High School students. I am for the 2 9-10 campuses that will then feed into the main campus of the 11-12. And I was shocked when I heard a small group of parents hindered the board's progression at the zoning meeting February 14th. I am currently on the Farmer Focus Committee and have appreciated the progress of our group. We visited 2 Plano high schools. The main points I liked were Plano ISD had been doing this format for over 30 years, and it's been tried and it works. I liked hearing how Plano could better focus on all their students, not letting our 10th graders that normally fall through the cracks was especially encouraging. I was very impressed to hear that their senior high school principal graduated all but, I think it was 8 of their seniors last year. I don't know that we can say that currently at Lewisville High School. And so hearing, I think the difference was the 2 9-10 campuses, having more years with the 9 and 10th graders, and then concentrating 11th and 12th graders to be able to more focus on their college career. I think that's what the overall emphasis I was hearing from Plano. I like that our district cares so much for our students that they want this format for us as well. So in closing, it's my hope that the board will continue with the 2 Lewisville High School plan of 2 9-10 campuses that will then feed into the 11-12 campus by settling the middle school boundaries and letting everyone get to work and do what they need to get done. School's going to start soon. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next one I have is Kimberly West.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Waddell. Nice to have you here. Again, my name is Kimberly West, and I'm a proud parent of 4 LHS feeder students, the oldest of which to open the new 910 campus this fall. I am currently the parent representative on the Farmer Focus Committee representing the Hedrick Middle School. I agreed to this position with the intention of helping the committee find the best ways to implement a smooth transition to the 910 philosophy. Since joining the committee, I never had the sense that LISD was doing the wrong thing for our freshmen and sophomores. And as a former high school teacher, I saw nothing but the desire to strengthen the kids academically and socially. Having these 9th and 10th grade students on their own campus will allow the kids to grow and take ownership of their high school experience. It will give them the opportunity to join clubs and organizations that they may not otherwise in a larger class setting. The clubs and extracurricular activities are where bonds and traditions occur that are so strongly spoken of here. The forces that bring us together outside of the school day are the forces that drive the school spirit. The 3 campuses have every intention to drive this force and continue what makes Farmer pride. I also believe that the boundaries should be drawn geographically to balance the success of the 2 910 campuses. Borrowing a statement from another committee member, we are providing an innovative approach to the education of our students with consistency, communication, and community. Drawing on the success of the 9th grade campus, the 910 campus can only be stronger and become the desire of other schools within our district and surrounding districts. I see nothing but positive, both academically and with the continuation of our farmer pride. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next card I have is Jean Ferguson.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I oppose the 9th, 10th grade campus primarily for 3 reasons. First is the task force final report itself. I've read it. I'm a researcher, so when I was reading it, I was looking for the meat. And if this is what the school board used to make its final decision, then I'm surprised and question its rationale. The report lacks any substantive information upon which to make an informed decision. It's full of recommendations and rationales, but nowhere in it do we find the documentation the task force used to make these recommendations. The report's index is devoid of any data, any citations that give even a hint of all the options and alternatives that they considered when making their decision. There's nothing here. I'm surprised, too, that an effort like this, in its magnitude and importance, resulted in a bibliography that consisted of only 5 sources, 2 of which appear to be newspaper or an e-newsletter article. I would think that something like this warrants a lot more research than appears to have gone into what we have here. My second issue is the bond initiative itself and what resulted in the vote for the 910 campus. I would hazard to say that most of the voters had very little information about what was being proposed. Certainly, the information that was available in the newspapers at that time was sketchy at best. Plus, if I recall right, and I could be wrong, that when we voted for the whole package. And included in that was the initiative to build Marcus's new stadium. So when we voted, it was all or nothing. I can't help but wonder if voters really knew what they were getting into. I don't know. And finally, my rationale and opposition is the composition of the school board at the time of the task force initiatives. And there were 2 people from the school board that were sitting on the task force as well. So I question whether or not they were being as impartial as they could have been in examining what was being recommended. No one on the board represented Lewisville at that time. Not one single person. And not one board member that I'm aware of actually had children in the Lewisville School District. I'm sure that the board at that time thought it had Lewisville's best interests at heart, but how many times have we seen similar instances in history where the group in charge makes decisions it deems good for another group? And how many times?
That's your time, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next name I have is Gordon Nuez. Is it N-U-S? News. Thank you, sir.
One more speech about the reading recovery program in the district, but maybe from a slightly different perspective. Our daughter and grandson moved in with us at the end of November from another Metroplex school district. And our grandson, a first grader, went into the Donald Elementary School. He did not want to talk about his experience. In fact, he refused to talk about it for the first few weeks, and we discovered why very quickly. He was far behind the Donald Elementary reading program and needed help right now. Thanks to a veteran, very caring teacher and the reading recovery program, Tyler is almost but not quite up to snuff at this point in time. We are delighted, and that little boy who went into a shell has come out again and is himself. He is proud of what he's doing, and this program has made an enormous difference in his life. And it will make it, there are all kinds of Tylers throughout the school district, I'm sure, who need that boost early in their academic career to make sure that they are good readers and can perform well. And the self-esteem issue is immediate, was immediate in this little boy, and it has radically changed. I hope this program and other programs that help lower elementary kids will continue in whatever way you possibly can in the future, so that the Tylers that come into the school district will have help so that they can be on board and be successful in their early elementary careers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.